So in this part of the video, we are going to begin with what is media query. So the CSS media query gives you a way to apply CSS only when the browser or device environment matches a rule that is specified. The media queries are a key part of responsive web design, as they allow you to create different layouts depending on the size of the viewport. So earlier in the previous video, we learned some responsive web design principles. I also learned about display properties, basic display properties, display inline, display block, and display inline block. Now, if all those display techniques fails, responsive techniques fails, as a last resort, we'll use the media queries to make it fully responsive. So that's why here it says media queries are a key part of responsive web design, because they allow you to create different layers depending on the size of the viewport. So that said, let's move on. The structure of the media query. Now the structure of the media query is you start with this at media, then the media type. So example of the media type is you can use your print or your screen. Then and the media feature. So the media feature here has to do with the width of the device at which you want this CSS to start running. So whatever CSS you put here, CSS rules, that is when this media query will start to have effect. So an example is if you want your print background, your print page to have a font size of 12 by default, you're going to add this. So that is just the structure. You write at media and screens, all of this, then you write your CSS rules. Your CSS rule goes within this curly bracket. So using min width or max width. Now the min width encourages the mobile first approach, the max width encourages the desktop first approach. So if I want my body, the body of my page, to have a color of blue at a max width of 600 pixels, then I'm going to write it like this. Now what will happen here? Now it then means when my device width is 600 pixels or below, start to apply the CSS rule that is here. But if you use min width of 600, when the device width is 600 pixels and above, then start to apply. So you see that they are different. Now, why is the min width or the max width called the mobile first or the desktop first? Now, for the min width, the code execution, like the way the CSS will interpret it, it will start from 0 pixel, then start to scale upward. So it will first of all pass the mobile width before it will get to the tablet or the desktop width. So that's why it's the mobile first. Then if you use max width, it's like if the browser will start to check from the highest width, which means it will meet the desktop first screen, then before it will now reach the mobile view. So just to give us a clear understanding, let me make a comment here. So this is for max width code as execution order. So the way the browser will execute it is, so if I have, so I'll have first of all my desktop So let's say this my desktop has a width of 1000 pixel. So shift alt arrow down. Then I have my tablet, and let's say of 600, and mobile of 400. So you notice this is the execution order. So you need to check for the desktop first, then the tablet and the mobile. So if you move the mobile up, by the time it will miss the mobile, but it's going to skip it. You're not going to see it on the output. So it will just look at the tablet, and by the time it gets to the mobile, it will assume that there is no mobile. So it will not, your desired effect output will not be there, it will be missed. So shift alt arrow down. So the code execution order for mean width is this, is the mobile first, then followed by the tablet, then followed by the desktop. So you see, it checks for the minimum width first, then just it ascends while this one descends. So with this roadmap or theory in our mind, let's test this code out. So at a max width of 600 pixels, we want the color of the body tag of our web page to be what? Blue. So let me go to my browser. So I'll use the art media and screen, hit enter, space, and then my parenthesis max hyphen width of 600 pixel. Then remember my CSS rule goes here. And remember, before you write a CSS rule, you must target the tag. So body, we are targeting by the tag name, then color should be blue. So remember, max width, that means it will start from when the device width is equal to 600 and below. So if we go to our output, we'll see that it has been applied, but let's see what happens when we increase screen above that. So to better help us understand the width of the device, I'm going to move to my responsive mode here. So you notice the width of the device is 1668, but as I shrink, once it's equal to 600 and below, that is when it will start to apply that, you see. So if I notice, so I can even come here and type my device width, just put 600, hit enter. So you notice that when it starts. So if I put, so if I tap up, you see it moves out, you see. So just 1 pixel above 600 means is off range. Okay, so that is for the max width. Then what of the mean width? So the mean width, so you see, so the mean width means from 600 pixels and above. So notice what will happen if 600 pixels and above, you see there, but if I move 1 pixel downwards, so that is off the range. So that is just the difference. So now let's illustrate this order. So remember this order. So if you're using your max width, So you have your desktop first and you have your mobile as a last. So you just assume that whatever you write above the max, whatever CSS you write without it being in a media query, so you assume is your desktop view. Then whatever one you write within this media query, then you assume is your tablet view. So if you write only one, you assume is your tablet. That means there's no your mobile. That means there's no tablet. But if you write two, excuse me, it then means there's a tablet and then there's a mobile. But if you still don't want that, you can decide to create this structure. So let me create that structure. So I can put this one. Responsiveness with max width. So if I want to do responsiveness with max width, so let's say by default I want my body tag, all the colors should be let's say green color. So I'm just using odd colors here just to make the thing stand out. So now whatever I write here above this max width, I can take it as my my desktop view, as long as it's not inside the media attribute. Then whatever I write within the media attribute, I can target my mobile view. So because based on the assignment is just two views. So on the desktop view I want it to be green, on the mobile view I want it to be that. So if I shrink above this, it will be green. That is for my desktop. This it should be it should be that. But if I still want, I can decide to put this inside the media attribute. So shift alt arrow up, I can make this my desktop view. So whatever approach you want to use, I make this my desktop view. Then I can clean this and make this green. So you see now, because I'm using this max width now, you know the max width scales up, so I have to tell it from let's say 1920. So from 1920, that is when the mobile the desktop view start. Then by the time it gets to, so you see, so by the time it gets to 600, that's when the mobile view will show. So it will still work as normal. So you see, so the desktop view has taken place, then the mobile view has taken place. But now let me explain something. Now if you're using this approach here, it then means you have to target everything inside this desktop view for it to be in desktop view, and this has to be in mobile view. Now by the time if you're doing a complex project, you will notice that you're using this at media often and often. And just like we notice here, in our code here, not all the sections of your page might need the media attribute. So I'll prefer if this is done without the media attribute. So I'll still take it as my desktop view, then whatever I put here as my mobile view. So you see it will still work just the same, so there's no difference. So you see, so that is for that. Then if you're using the max width, now notice what will happen if I move this my mobile view upward. So I move it up. So I have my mobile view first, and I have my desktop view. Now remember the order here. It says the desktop view must be first before the mobile view. Now notice what will be showing. Is it going to show me a color of blue first, then before green, or is it going to show me green? So let's see if it will work as normal. So you see I'm seeing green all through. So even in my mobile view domain, you see the desktop view is taking place. I see. So what has happened here? Because it scales down from the largest width, so and you put the mobile above, so by the time it gets to the mobile width, it does not see any media attribute. So it's to assume there is no mobile view instruction, so to just carry the desktop view across. So that is why the code arrangement matters. So you move it down to where it was originally. And then you will not have any issue with code. So you see everything will work as normal. And this principle also applies to when you're using the mean width. So if you're using the mean width for responsiveness, so responsiveness width, mean width. So you notice that the mean width code execution order is from the mobile first. So why I like the mean width is that you cannot you have a, like if I put this 1000 pixel now, if like let the device accessing it has 10,000 pixel, the code will still work as normal. So it's still the desktop. But notice what will happen here if I pass 1920, if I can pass that. .921. So you notice the code displays 1921. So you notice the way the code displays is displaying, let's say according to our code, displaying the desktop view still. Which is nice. So even if I increase, it's still the desktop view to show. So now it is still the desktop view to show. So it's nice. So there is no much difference there. So to do that, I have to do, so let me find a section so you can, so I want to put this my color 1 text or color 2 text, because that's what I'm seeing here. So the color 2 text. So what I want to do now is this. So dot at media and screen, so that the mean width should be 400 pixel. Then I want dot color 2, the color should be red. So this is for my mobile. So let me do for the next one, which is for my desktop. So my desktop will start from 600. Now let me omit this color of red just to explain the point. So if I go to my code, you notice now I have to make space P for that work. Okay, something is happening, it's not working. Okay, the mean width of 600. So I've not gotten to that point. So let me shrink. Now mean width of 600 means it should scale up. So so let's look at our targeting first. Color 2 P, the color should be red. Okay, I've commented that out. Then from 400 should be that. So color 2, color 2. Okay, so let's look at that. Should be having a color of red. So that is why it was not showing. I need to add my P here because of what we have. There's something we've not learned called specificity, so that is why it was not working. So you see, it's now a color of red. Now you see, if even though I have not reached 600, you see, so only when I go below 400 that it will go to the default one, which is white, but from 400 is this. So you notice that if I pass my 600, it's not also changing. So that means if I go back to the code here, so if I'm using the Mac suite, whatever I do in the desktop is being inherited, especially the CSS is being inherited by the tablet and down to the what? To the mobile, unless I want to change it. So if I don't want to change it, to just inherit it down, to scale down. So for the mean width, whatever you write in your mobile scales down to the tablet and scale down to the desktop. So in case you don't want a particular behavior that is scaling down, so there are two ways you can remove that. So let's say I don't want it to be red. I can change it to what? To purple. So if I do that from my desktop view, I'll have that this will be purple. So let's see if I've changed something. So here is this 400, 600. So I've not added my P. Okay, so I've added that. Scroll down. So you notice here is purple and here is red. So purple, red, purple, red. So let's say I don't want to even have any color at all. So let me do that, Shift Alt arrow up. Then here I'm going to have onset. So onset is used in CSS to remove a particular value from a CSS property. So before the media query, the color was white. So on set now means go back to white. So if I do that, that means it will be the default color, which was it green. So where did I add green? Green. So the body here is green, so that is why it's green. Okay, so that is it for the responsiveness using min width and max width. So let's go back to the slide. What is a breakpoint? So the points at which a media query is introduced are known as breakpoints. So from what we've written here, the media query is introduced, or this CSS starts to be applied from 600, so that is the breakpoint. So the next question is, how do we choose a breakpoint? So if you can combine the min width and the max width to handle a specific responsive challenge that does not fall within this range, or that within this range is not handled the way you want. So you cannot combine the min width and max width just like this to create a range. So let's say within the range of 400, like 500 to 550, the page is not displaying so well. So you can create that range by using what we have here. So you can say the min width should be maybe 550 and the max width should be like 570. Maybe that is the range that you want to handle a particular responsive issue. So how to choose breakpoint? So choose a breakpoint at the point where the content starts to be too big, small, overflows, or scattered. To know this, use the dev mode 2 in your browser. So that is what we have been using all this while. So let's say at so let's just do it for the mobile and desktop view. So let's say at at 854 it's displaying 4 boxes, but let's say below this 854 pixel, I want it to show not 3 like this, because this one looks like scattered, but one on top of each other, just like this. So how will I do that? So remember the breakpoint was 854 or 832. So let's use 832. So I'll go back to my code. So and that is the code for color 2. So I'll use the technique. So this one is assumed to be my mobile, so I can put color 2 desktop, then I'll write here color 2 mobile. So I put at media and screen, and so I'll use max width now because I want it when it's coming down. Max width of 832 pixel, then dot color 2 space p. So I want to change the width from 200 pixel to maybe something like 90%. So that's just all I want to change. Then the display should be not inline block but what block. So let's see what happens. So if I go to my browser, I scroll down, it looks like this. So anything above 832, it will display just like this. Then anything like this should not. So you notice this is not the center. So what I'm going to do is put, let's say, margin auto. Let's see if that solves that. And that is nice. So you see, then I can put my margin bottom below, then pixel. So if I do that, notice what I'll have. So you notice I have this now. So above this I have this, below this I have this. Looks nice. And you see, because I'm using percentage now, the responsiveness is very sharp, very neat. So that is it for how to choose your media, your breakpoint. You start to choose it at a point where it begins to get scattered, just like you saw me doing. So from 832, that was what we set. So you see I changed. Nice. So the next part of the video is apply media query to improve responsiveness of a web page, and that is what we have already done here. So you see, by applying our media query, so we have improved the responsiveness. So just exactly what we have here, we have mimic something like this. So this is just an outer box of this, and that is what we have done here. So by playing around with these principles, you will learn how to use display property 1, and by the time we learn display property 2, which is the advanced flex and grid, then you will not have any issue with building a responsive website. So one that adjusts nicely to fit the current screen sizes. So you can also do responsiveness for the text. So you notice the text is too small, so you can also do responsiveness for that. So it's not only for width but also for the font size or whatever properties that you want to do it. So that is how we come to the end of this video. So please practice, and I'll see you in the next video.